noise. Make some noise. Come on.
And thank you once again, Mr. Nick Foles. And thank you, everybody out there. And welcome back to the Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. With your boy MattyB on the call on this lovely Wednesday. Not expecting to be on this early. Obviously, the news of the Phillies' demise, and I mean that in a rain type of way, bad weather has prompted the cancellation of another Phillies game. That's the second game this year. We didn't have two all last season. We, matter of fact, had one last year that got postponed. Now we've set a new record, too. As the Phillies Braves were rained out today or inclement weather, whatever, they will make things up tomorrow as part of a day-nighter or a day afternooner. The first one will be at 1 o'clock, and then they'll follow that up with the game 2 right after that. So no Phillies Braves tonight, but you're going to get me instead. I don't know if it's an equal trade-off. I don't think it is, but we're going to continue the Phillies conversation like we have a game to talk about, but not really. We are going to once again revisit the last night's Spencer Strider throwing at Bryce Harper. It seems to be an interesting topic going around today. Whether or not you put to bed the shenanigans of fighting and, stretch for a win, so to speak. We're also kind of kicking around the Cedric Mullin thing. The trade rumors coming out of Baltimore as that season for the Orioles seems to be kind of going up in flames. Are the Orioles a team that you can start plucking some of their assets from? Cedric Mullins being one, Adley Rutschman being another one. Everyone seems to forget about the high catcher there. I would be more interested in picking him up than I would be for Cedric Mullins, but we'll entertain the Cedric Mullins talk. I don't necessarily want an outside center fielder. I think we have an inside center fielder that I would rather give an opportunity to, but maybe if you're in that win now mode, you believe Cedric Mullins is going to provide you something that Justin Crawford will not. Yeah, you might be right. But again, it's all about paying that price. And I don't know if I want to do that. So we'll discuss that. We're also going to get into some other Phillies talk, whatever really you guys want to talk about. Tonight's kind of your night. And I want to get to the big thing tonight, right? The big news here on the program tonight. We are going to attempt, and I say that wholeheartly. We're going to attempt to open up the phone line. So what I'm going to do here, probably in the next 5 minutes or so, is drop in our StreamYard link. And you can click on that. It'll take you through StreamYard and put you backstage of this show. Now, you have to have a microphone to come on. You don't have to have a camera. If you don't want to use your camera, that's fine. But you have to have a microphone because I need to be able to talk to you. So we're going to do that here in a little bit. We're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to see if this sticks. I'm interested to see how this will work out. Maybe on a Wednesday night, not the best night of the week to do this, but whatever. It's been a long day for me today, so bear with me. We're going to do our this day in Philadelphia sports history, our card review, and our worst trades in Phillies history. We're into the top 3. Tonight is number 3, as we'll reveal that. Did I say of the night as well? We're going to do some of the night, and we're going to rock and roll around and just have some fun. So let's get it going. Let's strap it in, strap it on, strap it up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times, and let's go. Adam says, what's up, Matty B? Adam, how are you? Keep me updated on your card. Let me know when you get it back. Joe Hales, hey, everybody. Joe, what's up, man? And Ricky is watching with an It's a Wrap Sports logo. Good for you, Ricky. I appreciate that. And again, taking Ricky's lead, if you would be so kind, like, share, subscribe, help us grow the network. And I'm not one to pander for that a lot, but yeah, I need some help. So go ahead and help share the network, help grow the network for us. And it doesn't cost you anything, and it'd be helping me out and helping everybody out here on the network. A great deal, because here on this network we are the proud purveyors of such programming as the Birds Blast of Kyle Quinn, the quintessential Eagle pregame show that returns at the end of August as we will get ready for season 6 and be your one-stop shop for Eagle pregame needs. Also, your Sundays here on the network are covered 9 a.m. with the PNM and the AM program. Your Thursday nights at 9, if you want to talk some Union soccer, we got you there too with the attacking third, and of course me coming at you every Sunday through Thursday when I don't have post-game obligations and on the Final Word. So make sure you're checking out all the fine programming And of course, our post game stuff. The Fightins Final is the seasonal post game that we're into now. I had you last night. Pat Bernard was supposed to have you tonight, but tomorrow, Mike Laro has a chance. He's got a chance to pick up 2 W's tomorrow, as Mike will be the host of both doubleheaders. He'll come on at the end of game 2, and he'll bring you the he'll cover both doubleheaders, kind of like how I did it. Kind of how I did it last week or a couple weeks ago when I had the Cardinals game, the doubleheader. So he'll cover you for that. So, all right. So all that stuff that we got going on, and let's get back over here. How are you, Matt? Ricky, I'm doing fine. How are you? How are you tonight? Joe says he's excited to come on. All right, Joe, we'll see. We'll see. Saw the Hershey Bears got eliminated and stopped their bid for a 3rd straight. Oh, wow. I did not see that. So who was it? Springfield that got him? I kind of lost track of the Call to Cup playoffs after the Phantoms got out, but good for them. Good for the Hershey Bears getting eliminated. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, goddammit. So congratulations to whoever did it. Was it as I said, was it Springfield? Was it Charlotte? Who slayed the beast, Adam? But Adam's reporting that the Hershey Bears are no longer inside the Calder Cup playoffs. So good. All right, let's get to our day in Philadelphia sports history. We're going to go right back to the year 1930 for this fact. And again, I was not there. I did not report on this firsthand. This was not me witnessing this. I wasn't sitting in the stands, jotting things down in my notepad or clicking away on my typewriter. This is facts that are reported by a third party. But on this day in 1930, Grover Cleveland Alexander, pitching in relief for the Phillies in a 5-1 loss to the Boston Braves, finished his 20 seasons career where it started. So today, basically in 1930, Grover Cleveland Alexander retired from the game of baseball. He led the league in wins 5 times in his first 7 seasons in Philadelphia, including his 1911 rookie season, and averaged 30 wins and 35 complete games in a 4-year stretch from 1914 and 1917. Let's let that sink in. Averaging 30 wins and 35 complete games a season over a span of 4 years, from 14 through 17. Again, let that sink in a little bit. That's amazing. His performance did shift towards mediocrity in the second half of his career, spent mostly with the Cubs. Alexander pitched as well in the 10s as any other pitcher in any other decade, and that's a verified fact. He was reacquired by the Phillies in the offseason of 1930. The 43-year-old future Hall of Famer was at the end of his rope in 1930 and hung them up on this day, finishing tied with Christy Matheson for 3rd on the all-time Major League wins list at 373. So Grover Cleveland Alexander, I guess you would call him the first bona fide Phillies ace, basically retired on this day back in 1930 after he came in a relief appearance in a 5-1 loss to the Boston Braves. And that is your day in Philadelphia sports history. Yeah, we'll get to that here. That's interesting. Got two Phillies games tomorrow. We do, Ricky Deal, and that's the one positive of having a game rained out. You get to go and play 2 the next day. I'm a big fan of double headers, especially at the major league level. I think they're fun, and people are going to have an opportunity tomorrow to go down there, and especially that now that they got rid of the 7-inning nonsense that they were doing for COVID, and they're back to the regular way to do double headers. Pretty cool. And it's going to be a good day of baseball down there at the bank. Let's check out your pitching matchups. So far, it's in game 1. It was going to be the same. Actually, no, they're pushing Zach Wheeler back. So game 1 is going to be AJ Smith Shawyer versus Christopher Sanchez. It was Smith against Wheeler. Wheeler will go in game 2 against Chris Sale. So the Phillies are making a minor pitching adjustment. They're moving Wheeler into the game 2 slot. The game 2 slot's at 6:45 and game 1 is at 1:05. So if you have tickets, I believe they're going to honor tonight's tickets tomorrow for the 1 o'clock game. And then, of course, if you had tickets for Thursday night, you're still good to go. So Chris Sanchez getting the start tomorrow in game 1, not Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler will go in game 2. So that's an interesting turn of events. So, Adam says the Charlotte Checkers. Yep, it was the Charlotte Checkers, no doubt. Ian Lapierre is back with the Flyers. In what capacity, Joe Hale? And we talked about that, didn't we? We talked about maybe even though the Flyers didn't want him to be a coach anymore, or the coaching thing, I thought the Flyers wanted to keep him around with inside the organization. So Ian Lappy back. That's good news. Going to open the phone lines. I will in a minute. Just relax. Again, I'm still trying to let this marinate a little bit. If I'm ready for this, but yeah, we're going to do it in a second. I promise. But yeah, so Phillies tomorrow we'll play 2 against the Braves, and then we'll get ready for the Brewers coming in. Some Phillies news to talk about, of course, is Cedric Mullins. Let's go with that first. Let's go with the trade rumor now involving the Phillies and the Baltimore Orioles. As the Orioles season continues to go down in flames, the Orioles will become one of those teams that have some young prospects and some young talent on it that a lot of teams are going to come sniffing around trying to reacquire or trying to acquire it. Whether or not the Orioles feel that this is just a blip on the radar of a season or if that they've got the wrong recipe and they need to start all over, it'll be determined. But I am not in favor of bringing in Cedric Mullins to be the new center fielder. I would rather go inside the system because the Orioles are not going to let him go. They're not going to let him go cheap. They're going to be wanting some commodities in return. I wouldn't be prepared to do that. Honestly, at this point, I would prepare to let Justin Crawford play center field, just like I think the Phillies are trying to do. And I hope to God that they don't waste trading an asset for a Cedric Mullins. I would give that asset an opportunity to play. Now, I mentioned Adley Rutschman, Adley Rutschman, the catcher. Now, if he is on the block and if teams are going to come sniffing around for him, I would be okay if the Phillies made a move for a prospect for him. He's got team control. He's got all kinds of stuff that you can build around. He could be that bridge to Eduardo Tait, and I think he's a very good catcher. Maybe just in a bad situation down there in Baltimore. So I would be more willing to part ways with one of our catching prospects for their catcher, because that's a position that no one's really talking about. That's really going to be a problem for this team here in about a year when we go into 2026, but absolutely no starting catcher. So if I could pick up Rutschman, I would do that more so than I would for Cedric Mullins. So I am not on board with going after Cedric Mullins. Both teams can bring up an extra player. Oh yeah, for the well, it's going to be probably a pitcher. Lappy is going to be a special assistant to Danny Briere. Yeah, so he's moving into management. Marsh for Mullins. Joe Hale, if they would do that trade, that would explain the reason why their team is failing. No one's going to trade Brandon Marsh for Cedric. Brandon Marsh is not going to be included in any 1-for-1 deals unless it's Brandon Marsh for cash. That's the only kind of deal you're going to get 1-for-1 with Brandon Marsh. Come on, man. Let's keep it in the realm of reality a little bit. Ricky says, how do I get on when you open the phone lines? Okay, Ricky. So when I say open the phone lines, I mean this like not actual phone lines. You're not going to call in. What I'm going to do is drop the StreamYard link inside the chat. Then you can link in through the StreamYard. You can come in through the StreamYard. It'll put you backstage. I will pull you on air for about a 2 or 3 minute segment. I'll ask you a question or I ask you what you want to talk about. You'll talk about it and I'll bump you out. Kind of just like they do in WIP, right? What I need you to have is a microphone. You don't have to have a camera. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want it. If you want it, that's fine, but you don't have to have your camera on. But you need a microphone. I need to be able to hear your voice. So that is how it's going to work in just a minute when I get ready to open up the lines. There's also rumors that the Phillies are trying to acquire the Orioles closer. So isn't that Sir Anthony Dominguez? Or is it Soto? Who's the closer? I thought Sir Anthony was the closer out there. I hope it's somebody different. Yeah, and the Orioles are going to be a team that I don't think a lot of people thought were going to be part of the picking of a carcass of the season, and they are, because their season has gone so bad. So you got to start looking at the Orioles and start really kind of judging what they have. And, you know, the Pirates, the Orioles, the Marlins, you know, the A's, teams like that are going to be what you're going to look at, the Rockies. But yeah, I could have sworn the closer was Sir Anthony. If it is, I'm not on board for that trade. I'm not on board for none of that. So the Phillies, the trade rumors are kind of heating up. And then I guess that's one of the first questions of the night for me here for you guys is if you had to prioritize the Phillies needs of this team, if you had to say this was the number, if you had the top 3 needs that are preventing the Phillies from winning a World Series, what would they be? Would it be bullpen? Would it be starting pitching? Would it be offense? How would you rank the top 3 areas that you believe the Phillies need to address in terms of getting to become a legitimate World Series team? And what would you do to address those top 3 areas? I've been talking about this till I'm blue in the face. I've heard other people talk about this till they're blue in the face. Some people say bullpen is a top priority. Others say starting pitching is, which I don't see how starting pitching. I think starting pitching is a very like lockdown thing for the Phillies right now. Some say offense. I say offense. I think offense is my top priority to get this team over the hump. But I'd like to know, what do you guys think? Is it the bullpen? Is it starting pitching? Is it batting? Is it something else? So throw it in there. Let's talk. That's on the table tonight. We can talk about. The closer is Felix Bautista. Okay, at least it's not Sir Anthony Dominguez. I always, I caution people with the closer thing. And they're going to make a move for a closer. It's just a matter of who and when, because they're not going to be able to get through the season with just Jordan Romano as the closer. They need another arm in the back end of that bullpen. So that's a guarantee that they're making a move for that person. Now, whether who that person is, what that person is going to cost, that's what Dave Dombrowski's got to figure out. And that's where we all have to sit here and have the waiting game and just sort of like, as the clock ticks away, we just sit here and wait and see what Dave Dombrowski is going to do with it. So I don't know. It's the worst part of this whole thing. So we'll see. But as you can see inside of the chat, there it is. There is our StreamYard link. You click on that link. It'll put you backstage. I will then pull you on stage. Now, so some ground rules. You come at me as hard as you want. You take your best shot or whatever, however you want to come at me. But let's keep this thing civil. Let's keep it on the lines of decorum, and let's have some fun. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. But there it is. There is the link. You click on it. It'll take you into the backstage of our StreamYard. Make sure you have a microphone. And again, the camera is secondary. You don't have to have a camera, but if you want it, you can definitely have it on. But there's the link right there. And phone lines are now open. So give us a call. Give us a jingle here on the final word. This is fun. It's a Wrap Sports history tonight. The first time we've taken live callers on the air. It is in there. I just dropped it in there. It's in the chat. It's in there. I don't know why you can't see it, but what's that? What'd you say? Is it just blank? I'll do it again. Hang on. Show up. Can you see it now? I can see it. There it is right there. Can you guys see it now? I put it up on the chat. Can you see it? There's the link. I'll leave it up there for a second. So go ahead and either cut and paste that or type it in. But there's the link right there. I don't know why it didn't work. Maybe I should have. Well, let me see. Hang on. Does this work? How's that? Does the link show up there now inside the chat? I sent it again. Yeah, we're working through it, Joe. We're working through it. I just sent it. All right, there you go. Are you seeing them now? Oh, the link's popping up. Okay, there we go. All right, some technical issues, but we'll get through them. All right, so click on that link, and we'll get you through it. Joe says, yeah, he sees it. All right, good stuff. This is what we're going to have to work through these types of problems tonight. But anyway, Phillies, Flyers, Eagles, whatever it is on your mind, we can discuss. We can discuss some of the topics that we've been talking about tonight, or we can discuss anything that you want to talk about. Let's just have some fun with it. And again, about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to boot you off, and we'll move on to other things because that's what we do here. But so now the next thing I guess we can get into a little bit is the retaliation of the Phillies and the Braves from the other night. Now, Spencer Strider threw at Bryce Harper. Phillies did nothing to react, nothing to respond to that. And there's been some sort of upheaval about that as well. People have been talking about how they are okay with it because, winning is the more important thing, not getting into a fight. So that's the topic that's on the table right now. I said last night, I thought that in this specific situation that a reprisal was needed, and that I thought the Phillies should have done what they had to do, and they did not. So, was winning the game the ultimate in reprisals? Was winning the game the ultimate revenge? Or is that still something that maybe is on the table as well for the Phillies to go after the Braves tomorrow in possibly one of those doubleheader games? So that topic's on the table. We got OTAs getting ready to kick off for the Philadelphia Eagles. Conversations about Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts continue. I cannot get on the link. I don't know what to tell you, Ricky. It's there. So I'm not an IT guy, but it's there. So keep trying. The conversation about Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni is kicking in the overdrive as we get ready to kind of get into that dead period of time before training camp, when we really try to pull something out to talk about. We'll get all frustrated and wrapped around national headlines about this, the best quarterback list, the best offensive lineman list, all that other stuff we'll get into. But I maintain again with the Eagles that situation, the team is a little bit barren of sort of contributor players that can come in and be impact day one. And I think there's a lot of question marks on the defense. Too many question marks for a defending Super Bowl champion, in my opinion. So all those things are on the table as we can discuss. And then we're going to get into our of the night segment here momentarily, actually. And then I'm really want to get into our list. We're down to trade number 3 of my all-time worst trades in Phillies history. And then we'll finish it up with our card review. So phone lines are open. Guys can come on. We got our first caller. There it is. Our first caller. Bring Nina on. Nina, can you hear me?
Hi.
I see your name is Nina. Where are you calling from?
New York.
What part of New York?
Upstate.
All right, what's on your mind?
I was just testing the lines for you, Matt.
Well, you're not going to get off that easy. What do you want to talk about?
The Yankees.
No. We don't do that here. What do you want to talk about?
How about Dallas?
Give me one topic. Let's talk about one topic, and I'll let you go.
Can we get a puppy or a kitten?
Okay. Well, that's Nina, everybody. I want to thank my wife for joining the program. Thanks, babe. All right, we got another caller. Joe, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Wait, I had to join because I know everybody except you. I just wanted to say, I'm great. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. We can hear you.
So let's talk deadline deals. I think the Phillies are going to go out and acquire Toronto Blue Jays closer. Not the one that we had, the other one.
So you think the Phillies are going to go after the Blue Jays closer, not Hoffman, but the other guy?
Yes.
Okay. And what would you be willing to give up? And that's what Joe. That's the thing, Joe. It's not necessarily me not wanting to go out and acquire a blue chip closer or whatever, but as you know, you've listened. I'm very protective of prospects, and I don't want to go back into a period of baseball like we had from 2013 through 2018. I don't want to do that. And we saw how the systematic dismantling of the farm system really hurt us in the long run. So, what is Joe Hale willing to give up to receive a blue chip, major league tested closer?
Otto Kemp. Everybody wants Otto Kemp. He's hot commodity right now.
So you want to go 1-for-1 Otto Kemp
and cash.
And cash. I don't even know who is the Blue Jays closer. Hang on, let me bring him up. I thought it was Hoffman. I honestly thought it was Hoffman.
Hoffman has been shaky. Or go for the setup guy.
Okay. Where is he? Yeah, Hoffman's in the role as their closer. He is their closer now. I'm looking to see who they got. They don't have a setup guy listed on here. They do have now are you speaking to Yimi Garcia? Is that who you're talking of? Okay, he's currently on the 15-day IL. So I'm not saying that should assuage you from it, but right now Hoffman is as the closer. Now, are you concerned with the possibility of the no roll bullpen and how that might affect Garcia as well?
We need a roll bullpen. Garcia could go into the 6th. Cameron should close. Anybody but Romano. Romano scares me. Yeah.
I don't think they can go through the rest of the regular season and then expect to make a deep postseason run with Jordan Romano as the only late inning option. I 100% agree. But you think getting a Garcia or getting a proven, let's call it a proven closer at this level, you could pull it off with an Otto Kemp and a cash deal.
And maybe somebody else. Who else would you give up?
That's just it. And I've given this a lot of thought. And I know Big Al likes to say you gotta pay to play and you gotta do all that crap, right? And I agree. But so this is, I would be okay with saying goodbye to a Mick Abel. I would even be okay with saying goodbye to an Andrew Painter. I wouldn't be okay with saying goodbye to both of them, but I would be able to say goodbye to one of them. But I would want some massive in return. I'm not going 1-for-1. I'd give up an Abel for a closer. I'd give up an Abel for a closer and maybe a top tier prospect in their system, something like that. The untouchable players, the Millers, the Crawfords, the Painters, the Taites, they're off the table. And Mick Abel is starting to put himself, in my opinion, on the position of off the table if he continues to pitch as well as he has. I don't know. It's a hard thing for me to think of, Joe. I really don't know who I would give up at this point.
Would Racones be untouchable?
No. Racones would not be untouchable. That's like the second layer of like prospects that the Phillies have, like the Racones, the Jordan Dissons. Who else would fit into that?
I also see
what's that?
No, go ahead. See the Phillies going to get a bat, just like how Matt Stairs was here.
Okay. So you think a bat off the bench, a power bat off the bench?
Yes, because Kapler's not cutting it. He's doing okay.
So you would go with a power bat off the bench. So again, I got flashbacks to Jay Cave ending the season a couple years ago when there was no other options. And I'm not saying that you're looking to get a Jay Cave, but you're not looking for someone that I want someone that can put the ball in play, Joe. I need someone that will keep the inning going or move the batters along. We got enough power coming off in that lineup, in my opinion. I think we need somebody that can actually move runners along. I don't even know if there's a guy like that anymore in the league that comes off the bench and does that because it's all saturized now, the power. But I don't necessarily want another friggin' – I mean, we might as well just go out and reacquire Rhys Hoskins then because that would be what you're kind of looking for.
So I'm going to bring up 94 WIP, Jody Cameron today.
Go ahead.
I met him personally. He was talking about Rhys Hoskins. Why?
I agree. I don't know why either. But you're kind of talking about a Rhys Hoskins to come off the bench.
Okay, not a Rhys Hoskins. A younger bat than Rhys Hoskins.
Okay.
How about like an Andrew McCutchen type?
He's not younger than Reese Hoskins, but listen, but I like the different type of hitter. Absolutely. I would be okay with a McCutchen. Absolutely. Now that's more up my alley too. That's more of the small ball, the contact hitter. He's going to put the ball in play. And as long as what's his face is not running behind him, that will cause him to blow out his ACL. Wasn't that Segura that caused that a couple of years back? As long as Segura's not running behind him, he's not going to blow out his ACL. We should be okay with that. I would be okay with McCutchen. I actually didn't want to see McCutchen leave when he left. I thought that they could have kept him going around. He would have been a good bench guy. I know he probably didn't want that role, and he wanted to still think he could start. But I would have loved to have had Andrew McCutchen still on this team.
He would be good in left field. He's better than Copley.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Ricky, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not IT. Joe got on, so it's working.
I'll send it to Ricky.
Okay. Okay.
It's
All right.
So we're going to talk MLB news real quick.
Okay.
I know people are probably waiting to come on. Scott Kingery's back in the majors.
Who's he with?
The Angels.
Right, because he was sent out to he signed with the Oakland. He signed with Anaheim in the offseason. They put him in the minors. Now he got called up.
He was traded to the Angels for cash.
That's right, he was. Yeah, I thought he walked as a free agent, but yeah, you might be right.
He was traded because I have his rookie card. So at least to say he's not worth anything.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those cards too. They were worth something for about a hot minute.
He was cool to meet.
That's good.
Clearwater.
All right, Joe. Well, listen, Joe, thanks for chiming in, man. We're going to try to do this potentially every night. We're going to do a call-in segment or a call-in part. So please try to come in, and I appreciate you coming on, Joe.
Thank you.
All right. So that was Joe Hale, everybody. All right. So I'm saying Joe made history. Joe Hale has made history. He is the first caller we ever have taken on the air. Somebody. Oh, I'm sorry. My wife Nina was the first caller we ever took on the air, but the first Philadelphia sports caller was Joe Hale. So, Joe, welcome to the history books. You'll forever be remembered here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So, everybody, there it is. The link is up. I'll put it up one more time, and chime in if you want to get on board and talk. So. All right, so let's move now to the of the night segment. We gotta get through this. Where's the pretty music at? All right, here it is. All right, here's the other night segment here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Sorry about that. The final word with MattyB. Tonight we are going back into the world of the MLB draft. We got back into the NHL draft last night as we're getting kind of down to the wire. The NHL draft is the 27th and 28th of June. We will cover first round coverage here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. The Clear the Ice show will come on and we'll do a draft show. So make sure I'll put out more information about it as we get closer. We're also going to come back at you with a end of Flyer season review show here probably in the next 2 weeks. I promised that when we signed off the air of Clear the Ice that we would do that, and we are going to do that. So we're putting the finishing touches on that. But we were in the NHL draft last night. We're going to navigate over to the MLB draft again and continue our deep dive of the prospects. Tonight is Marek Houston, the shortstop out of Wake Forest. Houston earns solid 2+ grades for his quickness and arm strength, and some evaluators will even go higher than that on his ability to play shortstop. He has smooth actions and plenty of range to both sides and should be a high-quality defender at the big league level. Should he not hit enough to merit an everyday role, he has the tools to play almost anywhere on the diamond as a utility man. This is what I look at Marek Houston. I look at Marek Houston as the 2025 version of Bryson Stott. He's got the tools to be an elite level defender. He's got the ability to play all the infield positions. Or actually, in this case, he's got the tools to play every position on the diamond. His hitting is a work in progress, and Who's is not? So Marek Houston projects right now to be a low-level first-round pick, potentially high second round. Again, the Phillies are selecting 26th overall in the first round of this year's MLB draft. So Marek Houston probably would be a player, and we've spoken about a few of them over the past few weeks that would be available around the Phillies' range of picking. And a utility player with the ability to elite-level defense at shortstop, is that a pick that you take at 26th overall? I don't know. Maybe we wait to see how the board looks, but he would be an intriguing option for us, in my opinion. So Marek Houston is tonight's Of the Night segment, the shortstop out of Wake Forest. And there you go. There's our Of the Night segment. And Joe Hale says he'd love to do it again. It was fun. I agree, Joe. It was a blast. And I see we got another caller. Let me bring him on. What's your name and where are you calling from? Ricky, I can't hear you, man.
Ricky.
There you go, Ricky. What's up, man?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
All right, Ricky. What do you want to talk about tonight? And first of all, thank you for figuring it out, and welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about?
Let's go, Philly.
Let's go, Phillies, indeed, Ricky. Ricky, are you on the same boat as Joe Hale? Do you think the Phillies need to solidify the back end of the bullpen? Do you think we need to go out and get a closer?
Mm-hmm.
Are you also on the same boat of Joe Hale as saying that we're going to have to mortgage one of our prospects to do it? Are you okay with letting say, Andrew Painter or a Mick Abel or a Otto Kemp go in for a elite back end closer? You are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's interesting, Ricky. I didn't think you were on board with that. But listen, as I said, I'm okay with it. And I know you got to play to pay. Play to win. I understand that. But I just don't want to go back to that time, like 2013, 2014, 2015, when we had nothing. We were devoid of both major league talent and minor league talent. And as we've been going through these worst trades in Phillies history there, Ricky, you've seen it. Most of these trades are all in the same sort of period of time that just were just terrible. We got nothing in return from these players. And then we also sent away a lot of our farm system in order to get the Roy Halladay's, to get the Hunter Pences, to get the Cliff Lees. I don't want to go back there, Ricky, but I understand the bullpen is not good enough right now, and we're going to have to do something in order to make it better. So, yeah, I agree with you. All right, Ricky, listen, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Thank you for having me on.
Every night, Ricky, you need to come back up. All right, we're going to be doing this every night when we're doing the show. I need you to call in every night, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. That was Ricky Deal, who's watching all the time. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, guys. Making my night tonight. It's working out great. So, Ricky calling in. Ricky and Joe Hale and my wife have all made history tonight. I want to thank all of them. I want to thank them all very, very much. So keep on keeping on, keep on listening. And again, the link is up there. Where is it? Joe says, thank you for having me on. It was fun. I can't wait to do it again down the line. Listen, Joe, we'll do it tomorrow. I am not doing post game tomorrow, so we can do it tomorrow. Here's the link one more time if you're out there. I limit to one call a night. So, for example, Joe Hale can't call back in tonight. Ricky can't call back in tonight, but tomorrow night they can. So make sure you're keep checking back. All right, let's now pivot to the our top 10 list, right? Our list of worst Phillies trades. My worst Phillies trades in history. Where is that here? All right, so we're up to number three. Number three. Let's go back and recap. Tell the people at home what they've missed. Number 10, of course, was my Freddie Garcia trade. And I just went over some of this stuff with Ricky about how we've just gotten rid of all of our prospects for some bad players. Hunter Pence at 9. Ken Giles at 8. Shane Victorino at 7. Cole Hamels at 6. Kurt Schilling at 5. Ferguson Jenkins was my number 4. That was a trade that was a little bit, dinosaur era. But That was my number 4. And that leads me to my number 3 worst trade in Phillies history. And here you go, folks. This is bottom line, bare bones. And I know that this might piss some people off. This might make some people really question me, which I don't really care. And this is how goddamn staunch I feel about this trade, how bad I think this trade is going to eventually project out. I think it's already projected out pretty bad, but I really do think it's going to go down as one of the worst in Phillies history. And it is, of course, the Logan O'Hoppe trade. That's right. My number 3 worst trade in Phillies history. On August the 2nd, 2022, Logan O'Hoppe was traded to the Los Angeles Angels in exchange for outfielder Brandon Marsh. After the trade, the MLB pipeline ranked O'Hoppe as the Angels' top prospect and promoted him to number 67 on the league-wide ranking. So he went from our pipeline, which I think he was like 3 or 4, and he ended up going to Anaheim as the number 1 prospect. Now, he also found his way up to the majors, I believe, by the end of the 2022 season. He got hurt in 2023 and then started kind of working his way back from that injury in 2024. Listen, is Logan O'Hoppe going to rewrite the record books a la Johnny Bench? Is he the next level generation of great catchers? Is he Yachty, or is he Yachty? Is he Mike Piazza? Is he Johnny Bench? Is he players along those lines? I can't answer that question. But I do know he's not Garrett Stubbs. And I do know he's not the version of JT Realmuto that we have right now. You can definitely make a case that JT Realmuto is a defensive stalwart for this team. We couldn't live without his ability behind the plate. I'll give you that. But what JT is giving this team offensively is criminal at this point. It's neglectful how bad he is offensively. And I think having a player like JT Realmuto, or not JT, but Logan O'Hoppe, if we were able to still be able to have him and sort of transition him in. And there are a lot of people who are like, well, he was blocked in 2022. I mean, yeah, he was blocked in 2022, but he was also in Double A in 2022. All right. He could have finished out 2022 in Double A, could have started 2023 in Triple A. And then we would have had a better idea where he was heading into 2024. So don't give me that he was blocked nonsense. No, the Phillies, they jumped at an opportunity that Dave Dombrowski thought we were a center fielder away, and that center fielder was Brandon Marsh. Now, it turned out Brandon Marsh is not that center fielder, and Logan O'Hoppe is that catcher. So it was a bad trade. So bad that I believe it's the 3rd worst ever in Phillies history. Logan O'Hoppe for Brandon Marsh. And there you go. There you have it. Number 3 is in the books. So now we're down to my final 2 trades. My final trades, my number 2 and my number 1 worst trades in Phillies history. And we will debut those tomorrow and Thursday. Oh, wow. I'll be able to finish up this week. That's good because am I on? No, I got no more. Wow, I have no more post game. Wow. Woohoo. But yeah, we'll be able to do it tomorrow and Thursday. All right. Let's now wrap things up for the night with the best segment of the entire night. My favorite, the reason why I get up in the morning. Yes, indeed, it is Matty B's card review. It's my card review segment. This is the part of the show. Can't talk. This is the part of the show where we talk about one of my many sports cards. Matter of fact, I've been really hot and heavy lately trying to get all these cards somewhat in a database. So I know I've been putting a lot of cards on eBay. A little disclaimer though, I had over 800 cards on eBay. Sold maybe, I don't know, 30 of them. It was a real low number. And all the selling costs and the relisting fees just wasn't able to keep up with it without it costing me money. So I pulled most of my cards down, with the exception, I think, of 11. And I believe I'm going to flux it out to about 20 cards that I'm going to be selling on eBay. And as a card sells, I'll just put a new card on. But yeah, I was really heavy into trying to get all my cards literally on a database and then simultaneously upload it onto eBay. So I kind of scrapped that plan, but I'm still trying to put these cards in some sort of master database, like an Excel spreadsheet. And I've been working on it feverishly over the past, I don't know, couple weeks. I have 6 binders worth of cards that I consider valuable cards, right? And I'm about 2 1/4 binders in to getting all these things updated. I think I've updated or uploaded over 2,500 sports cards over the past 3 weeks. And let me tell you, this is the hardest part of it, because if you ever want to get into collecting cards, if you ever decide to do it, and I know a lot of us have the same common story. We started out as kids, and as kids, 1, we didn't have the internet, and 2, what the hell do we know about databases? Now, I know when I was a kid, I used to write down on a piece of paper, what I had. I kept track that way, but, of course, we lost track of that. But so here I am as a 50-year-old man a man in my 50s, trying to catch up with over 35 years of card collecting in one single sitting, and it's just impossible. And I don't even know how many cards. I'm going to have an idea when I finish this of how many valuable cards that I have, but I'm putting them all on this big spreadsheet so that I know exactly what I have. And tonight we're going to stay in the 87 Topps baseball card. Been stuck there for the last week and a half, and I don't see a way out. All the cards that I'm looking at on the database, and that's how so they're on there, and I just go down, start from the top and go right down to the bottom, and just put them on this show as I come up to them. And we are in a heavy hit of the 87 Topps baseball. I believe the last 7 cards have been 87 Topps, and tonight it is no different. But tonight is a player near and dear to all of our hearts. Tonight it's a player that made us as Phillies fans cheer from the highest mountains and also cry from the lowest of depths. Here's tonight's card is a player that on a crisp October evening in 1993, I was banging my head against the wall, wondering what had just happened to this magical ride. This is a player that we all, when we think about him, the phrase "touch 'em all, Joe" is the synonymous phrase that comes into our hearts. And that, of course, is our man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mitch Williams. And this is his 87 Topps card. This is his rookie card. So Mitch Williams was drafted by the Rangers, came up through the Rangers system, played for the Rangers, then was moved to the Cubs, and then moved to the Phillies, then moved to the Astros, I believe then to the Angels, and then back to the Phillies. He kind of bounced around there after 93. But this is Mitch Williams' rookie card, his 87 Topps card. A really interesting find for me. I remember going through 87 Topps as a kid, and I didn't know who Mitch Williams was in 87. None of us did. But, of course, in 93, we know who he is. And when I was going back through these cards a few years ago, when I first kind of started getting the handle back on this collection, I was like, oh, my God, I'm sitting on a couple Mitch Williams rookie cards. And here it is. Here's the card. Now, Mitch Williams, of course. So I got to talk. Actually, he was drafted by he was drafted by Texas, played for moved on to Chicago, came to the Phillies, went to the Astros, Angels, and then Royals. Didn't he also come back to the Phillies at one point? Wasn't he trying to make the team out of spring training? I think right after that late 90s. He was also an all-star in 99. The wild thing himself, man. 45 and 58 career win-loss record. His earned run average is 365, 660 strikeouts, and 192 saves. For a guy that really, I don't know how you sum up his career. He was one of the better, I guess he was a very high velocity guy. Did have some moments there, especially with the Phillies, where he was amazing, right? But of course, when it really mattered, and when you think about it, what do you think about with Mitch Williams? I think of 2 things. I think the blown saves down the stretch of 93, and of course, I think the Joe Carter home run. But surprisingly, this card is not that. It's pretty expensive. A PSA 9 of a Mitch Williams, graded by PSA, $35. And then these raw cards that I have sitting around, and they range anywhere between $2 and $6. For a card for a Mitch Williams rookie card, a $6 card as an 87 Topps, that's a pretty damn good card, man. And it's an iconic Phillies player. No matter how you might think of Mitch Williams now, all these years later, he's an iconic Phillies player because of what he meant for this this franchise and all of its ups and all of its downs. So there you go. Thank you for having me on tonight. Anytime, Ricky Deal. Anytime. So if you have any cards you want the Phillies to sign, you can mail it to them and they will sign. Yes, I actually, interesting you bring that up. So maybe they saw through my facade, but I did this a couple of years back. So I don't know. I have sort of a problem sending and I know the process. You put a self-addressed stamped envelope inside the envelope that you send to the player. Stick the card in there, a little note, whatever. I guess you don't have to do a note, but I felt a little weird as a 50-year-old man doing this. So I was writing notes as pretending to be my 13-year-old stepson, saying, "Hey, would you please sign this card for me?" And I sent out John Kruk. I sent out Aaron Judge. I sent out just Kruk and Judge. Kruk, Judge, and a Ruben Amaro card. I have a Ruben Amaro baseball card from when he was a junior, when he was with the Angels. I believe it's his rookie card. I sent all these cards out to be signed. You know what the one card that I got back? Friggin' Ruben Amaro. I got the Ruben Amaro back. I never got the others back. Now, I could redo it and try again, but it's a commodity, man. I have some good baseball cards, and I don't want to just throw them into the mail and never see them again. And but I rag on Ruben a lot, man. But he was one of the only ones who literally wrote back to me or signed a card. Did we? I don't think we went over that card yet, but we'll eventually get to it. But yeah. But anyway, tonight's card is the Mitch Williams rookie. Anytime, Ricky. As Harry Callis would call him, Mitchy Poo. Yeah, Mitchy Poo indeed. Or Wild Thing, and definitely a character, definitely fit the 93 team. But here he is as a young, look how young he looks in this thing, man. Good God. It's not even look like the same person, but there's Mitch Williams' rookie card, the 87 Topps card, valued at anywhere between about $1.50 and $7 as a raw card, and $35 to $40 as a graded card. So let's pull up what the one I have for you. Let's pull up my version of this card, and here it is. This is my 87 Mitch Williams. It's actually one of 3 cards. There's 3 cards in here. This is one of 3 cards that I have of the 87 Mitch Williams. So there you go. I think it's in pretty good shape, considering 87 Topps are never in good shape. But there you have it. Tonight's card review. The 87 Mitch Williams rookie card. Good stuff, man. All right, listen, we went over a bunch of things tonight. I really didn't get much into some. We kicked the tires on some Phillies closer conversation. We kicked the tires on some, what should the Phillies end up doing with the trades and who we need to bring here. We made history tonight on the final word, the first call-in segment of our program. I want to thank Joe Hale. I want to thank Ricky for joining the program, and of course my lovely wife Nina for joining the program. I want to thank all you guys. We'll try to make this a regular part of the show, the call-in segment, and what I'll probably end up doing is coming on, kind of going through a little bit of an agenda, then just tossing the link out midway through. So that was fun. I enjoyed it, but we started a new thing. You guys were part of history tonight, so thank you for that. And for everyone else out there, remember, we will be back tomorrow night with your Phillies coverage. The Fighting's Final returns tomorrow. Mike Lara will have you do recap both games of the doubleheader tomorrow. And then we'll get ready for the Brewer series over the weekend and all the great programming here on the network. Tomorrow night at 9, the Attacking Third with Pat and Steve. On Sunday at 9 is the P&M and the AM program. And then on Friday at 10:30 is the wraparound with Pat Bernard. So all the great programming, and I'll be back tomorrow night as well after the Fighting's Final. So look for me somewhere around 10:30 or so after the Fighting's Final. So, but there you go. Joe says great show as always. Thank you, Joe, and again, thank you for contributing to history, you and Ricky on the program. So till we talk again tomorrow night, guys, I want to wish you a great night and an even better tomorrow. Take care, and we'll see you.